Hello guys, welcome to my new video, and today we'll be covering multiple things in this little channel update slash add-on update slash frequently asked question section of the add-on update. This video is going to be packed with information, so I first want to get going and kind of talk about the big thing that's happening. And after a couple of weeks, or actually after a lot of testing on every single healing spec, doing mythic plus, doing raids and things like that, I finally updated my Grid2 profiles, my weak cores, my TellMeWhens. I uploaded the whole folders, all of my UI with all the user information and things like that for people who are, you know, kind of tech savvy and know how to copy and paste files properly. So everything has been updated for the patch 8.15. Everything has been tested. I've added multiple changes. Some of the changes include things like I added or at least fixed some of the mythic plus affixes for grid 2, things like grievous, things like bursting. I've added the reaping souls magic debuff counter. It's going to show up on the right side of grid 2. It's going to show how many stacks if you need to start dispelling, and that's updated for every single healer. I added new ways to display debuffs, and that means things like magic, curses, poison. It's going to affect the whole health frame. It's going to be super visible, so you know when to dispel, if to dispel, and things like that, updated for every single healing spec. I also added, or at least once you import these profiles, you should have Battle of the Zaldor debuffs enabled by default, and for certain specs I have kind of filtered out some of the unnecessary debuffs. This should work, but please make sure you have the latest Grid 2 profile, or at least latest Grid 2 before importing this, because there seems to be some issues if you use older versions. Outside of that, I've also added multiple ways of tracking AoE healing on multiple characters, things like, you know, chain heal. When chain heal hits targets, it's going to change the colors on the health frames. For Holy Paladin, the latest edition, there's a lot of additions for Holy Paladin, but if you use Light of Dawn, it's going to change the health frame color to yellow to show which members got hit by Light of Dawn. Just some nice notifications. And on top of that, I've added Glimmer of Light notification or icon to Holy Paladin profile. That concludes my Grid 2 updates. Outside of that, I've updated all of my weak cores, all of the TellMeWhens that I've been using for a long time. I've kind of scrapped some of my old BfA versions, like for Holy Priest and Discipline Priest. I started using a completely new UI. I edited, I created my own edits and things like that. The same kind of deal for Resto Shaman, Mistweaver. Everything has been checked for 8.15, so there should be no issues at the moment. And like I mentioned before, I updated my whole user interface as well for people who are tech savvy and know how to actually copy it properly and things like that and make it work. So we're going to the next thing it's going to tie in, and that is to do with my channel and with channel membership. I've been recently made eligible for channel membership, and a lot of people don't probably even know what channel membership is on YouTube. It's basically like a sub button. If you a Twitch user and you go into YouTube, you'll notice that there's going to be a new join button below my videos, and this join button has perks. And in order for me to enable it, I needed to add additional perks. Besides getting cool badges and emojis and things like that, I was thinking long and hard about how I can really show appreciation towards the people who use their, you know, real money, hard-earned money to support the channel, support me in multiple ways. And I've really have spent a lot of time thinking about this, and I've decided to make this update, or the UI update, available to the subs. And this was a relatively hard decision for me to make. So if you're a Twitch subscriber, if you're a Patreon, if you're, again, a YouTube member, which has been enabled just right now, you will have access to this updated UI. And like I mentioned before, this was a really hard decision for me to make, because I've made my UI available to everyone for a long time, and I decided to change that up just because these updates take me a long time, and I feel this incentive, if you do subscribe, if you do decide to support the channel, not only you'll be supporting me, but you'll be supporting the UI. I will be making updates much more frequently. I will be taking people's opinions, and like, if you have a bug, if you have a feature that you don't like, let me know. It'll be fixed within a couple of days, or maybe instantly, depending on what I'm doing at that moment. I'll be keeping track of the UI much more, and also because of how the channel has been doing. It's been a little bit rough, I'll be honest with you. Ever since BfA launch was really nice for the channel, and then slowly everything has been kind of going down a little bit, and that's partly because of maybe because of me, maybe because of how BfA is working, but honestly this support will be highly appreciated, and it's not, and you'll be getting something out of it, if you know what I mean. So I really hope people are not going to be angry at me for making UI available only for the subs, but I hoped in the near future I might be revisiting the whole concept, and maybe if the channel is doing a little bit better, I'll be able to make it available for everybody who wants it. I might revisit that as well. What am I gonna do with the old version of the UI? Honestly, I was planning on keeping it up on Discord, but then I was kind of worried about the confusion it might cause. People won't know which version they'll be using. They might have questions about a specific version, and everything might get confusing down the line. So I'm not 100% certain what I'm going to be doing at the moment. I might just stick to one version that I keep constantly updating it, so the questions don't get too overwhelming. That's what I'm probably looking at the moment, so keep that in mind. And if you do decide to support the channel and you want to access the user interface, there's only very few things that you need to do. First of all, Discord. Discord is one of the things that you need to have. If you don't have Discord, let me know. I'll give you the links to the files by themselves. But Discord is definitely recommended, because if you have user or UI related questions, I check Discord every day, and it's way easier for me to check Discord than YouTube messages, because YouTube messaging system is terrible, and sometimes I don't get updated on it at all. So keep in mind that Discord is probably the best way to reach me. So if you do decide to become a Twitch subscriber, a Patreon, or a YouTube member, and if you actually want to know which one is the best way to support the channel, if you have the option of doing all three and you want to pick one, honestly, Patreon and YouTube membership is probably the best way to support the channel, just because I'm not a Twitch partner and Twitch takes a huge cut of all the subs. But if you don't have an option, if you have that Twitch Prime lying around and you want to test out the user interface, go ahead. It's going to help out the channel immensely. So if you decide to do that, you have to install Discord. In Discord, under user settings, select the little icon, click on it, then go to connections. And in connections, you have the option of linking multiple accounts. So let's say you decide to become a YouTube member, link your YouTube account in this section. Your YouTube account gets synchronized. Then join my Discord channel. All of the links are going to be in the description below. Once you join my channel is going to sync and assign you a new role. That new role is going to be either, like, you know, associated with Twitch, YouTube, or Patreon, and you'll get access to the sub UI, sub chat section of the Discord, where majority of the files are there. The conversation about the UI and things like that is going to be there as well. So that should work. If you have any issues, please contact me on stream or whatever. I'll try my best to help you and set everything up. I'll do my best, because I know you're using your money to support the channel. I'll make sure this UI is going to be well maintained and is going to be up to par, and it's going to be working for everybody. I will really make sure of that. So now I'll be showing how to set up my UI, and I'll be using a fresh character on the PTR server to actually go through every step on how to set up my Resto Druid with everything that it needs. You can do that with any of the healing specs. Just follow the links in the subsection of the Discord, and make sure you read the descriptions there, because I include all the little advice that you need with certain add-ons and things like that. So first of all, before you're even gonna get started, you should have at least the base core of the add-ons needed, and that includes Grid2, that includes Mask and Mask Clean UI Skin, it includes OmniCC to display the cooldowns on Grid2, it includes TellMeWhen and WeChorus, as well as the ElvUI if you do decide to use ElvUI. So if you actually load into the screen, you'll probably see something like this. Everything might be messy, everything's going to be looking pretty bad and things like that. You might have an options of setting up your ElvUI as well. So everything's all over the place. The first thing you want to do if you do use ElvUI is to actually copy my ElvUI profile. And once you copy the text from the paste bin, you go into the game, you type in /ElvUI, or you can use escape. You'll see the options here. You go to profiles. In the profile section, you will see import profile. You click import profile, and then Control V, you paste everything and you say import now, and that's it. the ElvUI profile is fixed. So this is the way my ElvUI profile looks like. Keep in mind that for Priest and Paladin, there is a different profile, which kind of lowers this player frame to somewhere around here, because I have weak auras that kind of work really well with it. So keep that in mind. I use a different ElvUI profile for Priest and Paladin. Every other healer uses the generic one. So the next thing you want is to set up your Grid 2. So there's going to be a specific Resto Druid Grid 2 profile. Again, you go to Pastebin, you copy the code, you type /Grid2, and now you'll see this kind of panel. You'll go to the profile sections, you will see import and export. You click on that, and then you have import profile. You click on it, and again the same deal, Control V, so you're able to paste it and press accept, and that is basically it. Now keep in mind that it probably won't work straight away, so you need to reload. Usually /L is going to reload the user interface, and it's going to kind of make everything work again, because you'll start noticing, and you'll see the little hot icons. You'll see rejuvenation is here. Now you see that rejuvenation is actually showing the cooldown. You can type in /omnicc, and you'll be brought into these kind of options. The minimum size to display text, I usually set it to 40. And if you want the icons to actually show up a bit or be more visible, you can go to like text style and have a different fonts for it. And you can have a base font size if you wanted to be a little bit bigger, if you really can't see the duration. As you can see here, you can make it bigger and small. So that's something really cool to do. OmniCC is a really cool add-on for that. Outside of this, you notice that I don't have any spells. I don't have my TellMeWhens and weak auras. And for Resto Druid, the base core abilities, I use TellMeWhen. So there's going to be a TellMeWhen profile for Resto Druid. Again, Pastebin, Control C all of the text, and then type in /TMW, which is going to be, well, actually it's already there, /TMW. You'll see this straight away, probably when you first log in. You just right click anywhere, you go into this small bar, Control V, paste everything, and then import, export. You click on this, and then you go import from string, and then you go to profile MadSkillz Raven Quest, and then you can either copy profile and override it, or create a new profile. It really doesn't matter. If you don't want to override your existing things, you probably will want to create a new profile. I don't really care, so I'm gonna override it, and now you see everything is here. To make it, again, you need to go back to the default look, so you need to type in /TellMeWhen or TMW, and this is what's visible. So now you can see that it doesn't look great. It's missing efflorescence, and because efflorescence, I'm using a weak aura. So again, go to Pastebin, select everything, copy it, go into your game, type in exclamation or /WA. This is gonna bring you to your weak aura menu. You can go to new, and you can go to the section where it says import. In import, Control V, you'll see here that's going to be wild mushroom, and it's kind of changed over the time. This is the efflorescence weak aura import group, and that's basically it. So now you see efflorescence, you see all my TellMeWhens, everything's kind of working, everything's here, but it doesn't look great. And that is because there's an add-on called Mask /Mask, which kind of allows you to skin your add-ons and make them look way better. And that is the reason why we installed Clean UI. So you go to TellMeWhen options here. You can actually go to all of them, but right now I'm only going to show TellMeWhen. You go to TellMeWhen and you select Clean UI Tint. After you select Clean UI Tint, make sure opacity is set to 100. This is going to make the borders look white. If you don't want white borders, you can just set opacity to 0. You do the same thing to weak auras. You go to weak aura section and you go to Clean UI Tint again. Again, opacity 100, and click OK. Now, there's a chance that these things might not look properly, so you need to reload. After making any changes to add-ons, you'll probably have to reload a lot of the time. So you can see right now, this is what the UI looks like. Everything's basically the same as my original version. It's probably missing some of the DBM settings and things like that, but the core version is here. You can see the different icons on Grid 2. You can see the buffs, rejuvenation, things like that. You can see the TellMeWhen. You can see the weak auras with the efflorescence. I have some of the TellMeWhens are going to cover things like different trinkets. So if you have those trinkets, they might show up on the screen as well. But this has been a very, very quick overview of what to expect. Frequently asked questions, Grid 2 is very, very important. If you're just importing your Grid2 profile and it doesn't look the same, it is because of the frame textures. So go to your Grid2 /Grid2, go to indicators, go to health, and go to layouts. Make sure that your frame texture is probably going to be set to Grid2 flat, which is fine, which is what I use for a lot of my healers. But if your font is not the same, and it's probably not going to be the same, you need to go to text down. You can see in text down, it's covering name. Go to layouts, and you'll see that the font that I'm being used is actually not even selected. Select the font that you want to use. I use Hodge XCT font, which is part of the XCT add-on, which is used to show, you know, how much healing you do, how much damage, and things like incoming damage to yourselves. So once I use this add-on, I get this special font. I'm not using this add-on here, so you basically can select any of the font that you like, make it sharp or thin, make it sharp, or just go through a lot of the options and see if you want a specific font. If you want to use the same one, you probably won't want to install XCT, but this is the way you change font, or this is the way you change the frame texture, either to text down or health and layouts. If you want to actually move Grid2, you need to go to general options, you need to go to appearances, you need to make sure that frame lock is not ticked, and then you go to layouts. In layouts, you can decide basically if you want to move 5 months of raids. You can go to party and click this little search icon here, which is going to show preview of what the 5-man group looks like, and then you can move it. Let's say I want to move it here. After you move it, you can click it again, and your Grid2 is moved. And if you want to lock it, you can go back to appearances and click frame lock. And this is how you move, and this is how you change Grid2, which is one of the big questions that get asked a lot. So hopefully this has showed you a decent overview of how easy it is to set up the UI. Some of the issues, some of the problems, or some of the questions should be covered in here. So please do watch the video to full to see all of the suggestions. Thank you guys for watching this video, and thank you for supporting me through your subs and things like that. And hopefully this, if you have any questions or if you have any issues, just contact me on Discord. I will do my best to get to you as soon as possible and to actually update the add-ons and things like that. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in my next video.